I have a Spektrum IX20 with the AR 2041T and the Synapse, and I also have a Swiwin 140. And what's happening is I'm not able to get any telemetry, no matter what I do.
Timer start.
And you can hear it spinning. I don't know if you probably can't see it, but it's spinning. Cut it off.
Altitude minus 0.2
and let's cut that off. And I'm not getting any telemetry. However, what I found is that when you put the because what I have is the GPS and trying to run a daisy chain with it. So what I found that when you use the Vspeak Swiwin to Spektrum module, it's an extra few bucks, but it works. Let's take a look. So this right here is the Vspeak module. You need to also purchase, if you have a Spektrum, you need to purchase this adapter cord too. It doesn't come with the module. It comes with the regular 3-pin. However, you need the 4-pin because we have Spektrum and we are special. But anyway, this right here is the set button, and I'll go through that in a minute. And I'm just going to change this out to this adapter right here. I'm going to change this one to this one and then plug it in and let you guys see what happens. But before I do that, I want to show you guys a couple of things that you're going to need to change in the software. And what you need to do is you will take this right here, and there's a slot for a micro SD card right there on the back. If I can get it in focus. Let me try that. There's a slot for the micro SD card right there on the back, if I can get it in focus. And you just pop your micro SD card in there, and when you pop your micro SD card in, what it'll do is it'll, by default, if it's blank, by default it'll put on the software the way it comes, but you need to make some changes based upon the model you have. Okay, so when you pull your card, after you've had it download the information onto the card, this right here is all the set values. This is what is currently set for. This column right here is what is currently set for. This right here is what the range, they call it. And then this right here, like what can these values be? That's what this is. And then this right here describes what it does and all the rest of that stuff. So I'm going to turn on my taxi tank. Right now it's off. So I'm going to turn that on. And what that does is that sets it up so that the second time you raise your throttle past 80%, then at that point it will start calculating fuel flow based upon these numbers right here, or these two numbers right here. And I don't know exactly what it's set for, but I'll find out eventually. Also, this right here is my fuel tank size. I have a 2-liter fuel tank in my 1.8, so I'm going to change that from 3,000 milliliters to 2,000 milliliters. And what else do I want to do? Go down here to where it says Spektrum. Here's what is currently set for is off. And then these right here are my options. I'm going to change it to fuel percentage. And then I'm just going to make sure that like all these things line back up. So I'm going to delete those spaces. And then I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to exit and put it back in the bird. All right, so the one thing I did forget to mention was you have to double tap this button right here like you're double clicking a mouse when you're setting this up. You have to cycle through. It has this there's a little strobe light right here. I'll turn it on so you can see it. There's a little strobe light that comes on, and based upon what brand radio you have, that'll determine how this is set up. So anyway, you have to cycle through this, double tap it as if you're double tapping a mouse, so you get to the solid red. And once you get to the solid red, it remembers it from that point on. So from here, I just pulled out my USB coming out of my GPS unit in order just to plug it in, just to see if it will work. And so I put it in, and I put those changes into the radio. And now, if I can focus, swipe over to, not those gauges right there. And you see I have the 2,000 milliliter tank now.
Altitude minus 0.2 feet.
And I don't know why that's coming, because I guess my GPS isn't registering. And then there's my turbine status. And as I
Timer start.
throttle up,
Altitude minus 0. Timer stop.
it'll you see it's giving me my turbine reading, plus I have my fuel reading, and then I also have my temperature right there. So it works. It works alone. Now I'm going to put it into the daisy chain with the GPS unit and see what happens there. All right, so I got it. Well, it's not really dressed up all the way, but got it going. I mean, I got it up and all loaded in. So let's turn her on. There's telemetry coming through.
Altitude minus 0.2 feet.
There's my RPM. Oh, I have everything daisy chained in through the what's that thing called? GPS. GPS unit. So it's nice and daisy chained in. And last one, let's give this a shot.
Timer start.
And there's my RPM going.
Timer stop.
And all the rest of that fancy stuff. So if you have a Swiwin Turbine and a Spektrum radio, this is the way I found that it is successful using the Vspeak module, and it only requires one wire going into the telemetry port, and then one wire going into your throttle cable, and the other wire going into your your S-Bus port. Anyway, I hope this helps you guys out. Happy landings.